Hey, what's up everyone on YouTube and Twitter? So Bitcoin, since the last update, has broken below this 56.1K level. On the daily time frame, we had a daily close below on Friday. However, we did find some support at the next level, which was noted, which is around 53.3K. So Bitcoin really ultimately needs to hold this level at this point. The supports below this area fall at 53K, which was from back in February, as well as around 50.5K, which was also back in February. If not, it would likely test this wick from August. So Bitcoin at this point really needs to just ultimately put in a higher low. It has been in a structure of lower highs and lower lows essentially since March, which I'm going to show you right here. These are all lower highs followed by lower lows. And for Bitcoin at this point, in order to make a higher high, it needs to get above this 65 point K level. This is the level it will need to get above to get a higher high. If we do get a bounce here at some point, it will not be confirmed as a higher low until we make a higher high, because it's possible we could see a bounce up to say, let's say this area, for example, and then continue to pull back lower and then end up forming a lower low. So the only way for this to ultimately change is by putting in a higher high above this level at 65K. And then if we saw a pullback, at least we would know at this point that this was a higher low, and then we would have a higher high, and that this downtrend would finally be, at least seem to be, over at that point. And then we could start to slowly shift our bias. We would need to see more higher highs and higher lows afterwards, but this would be the first sign of something changing in this downtrend that we've been in since March. So as you guys know, I've been consistently saying that as we head into the election, I would not expect too much based on history in 2012, 2016, and 2020. We didn't really start to see much until October or November. This was the path that I kind of drew out about a month or so ago now. And we went above this for the past few weeks. We're now below it. I do think we'll continue to chop. And I do think October or November, just based on history, has been more promising in election years. If I go back to 2012, as we've shown before, we kind of crashed in August and then moved up. And then this was the election. Then after the election, we started to see massive upside. And then we go to 2016. Similar story where we saw the downside into August and then moved up slowly into the election, which happened here. And then the upside continued afterwards. And then we go to 2020, same exact story. Bitcoin went down in late August and early September, but then it started to move up into October and actually moved out of this range in October before the election. This is when the election took place, but then we saw all this upside taking place after. So we're very close at this point to where the election will actually be. I have it marked right here, and we're not very too far away now at this point. It's less than 2 months away. So at some point, I do think we'll start to get some resolution out of this whole consolidation range, just based on history and how things have consistently gone over the past few election cycles. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin weekly super trend, it has been in the green since January of 2023. And the only thing that would flip it red is if we lost this floor. If a weekly close were to take place below this floor, which currently sits at 2K approximately, it would flash red. Then this would be the first time it's been red since essentially early January of 2023. And usually these super trends, especially in bull markets, do not get flipped unless there's weakness. So if we go back to the 2017 bull market, we rode it up in the green this whole way up. And then if you look back at the 2020, 2021 bull market, same exact thing. It did flash red here, but then it ended up flipping green before we topped at 69K. And we have been green for almost 2 years now. And this is very important. We cannot see this floor flip. If it were to flip, it would be a very bad sign that this trend is almost in danger at this point, in my opinion. Just because it's held on for so long and has captured so much of this uptrend, it's just something we cannot really afford to see at this point for Bitcoin, especially as we head into 2024. Lastly, if we look at the Bollinger Bands as well as the Bollinger Band width indicator, the Bollinger Bands on the weekly time frame are essentially at their tightest points. We did see some sort of expansion over the past few weeks with the volatility, but these Bollinger Bands, as represented by this right here, are still very, very tight. So I do not think that the move that we've been waiting on for so long has happened yet. I think we're going to see some sort of completely explosive move at some point, like we saw last year after they squeezed for a while during this time frame as well last year, and then we saw the expansion as well as this move up. This does not indicate the direction of the move, but there is a very, very strong move yet to come. So going forward, the goal for the bulls at this point is to reclaim this 56.1K area as well as hold this 53.3K area. We are just in a range at this point, and we will wait for a decision to happen, whether the bulls can defend this, or if the bears can push this down, or if the bulls can break this 56.1K level, or if the bears can deny it. If you enjoyed this video and you're watching on YouTube, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure to give it a like, as well as subscribe to my YouTube channel. All videos will be posted on YouTube first.